Think people hate compliments because they're shy or insecure? Think again. Sometimes it's much darker. Ever notice someone flinch when you praise them? Pull back even when you mean well. Compliment a colleague or friend and they immediately deflect. That reaction, it's not always innocent. Today, we're diving into the hidden psychology of people who hate compliments. This isn't about politeness, it's about truth. We're going beyond surface level explanations, exploring what most people never see or talk about. Psychology isn't about judging, it's about noticing what others ignore. This is ThinkWise. Understanding isn't optional, it's essential. Stay sharp. Most people assume they hate compliments because they lack confidence. That's the easy answer, the comfortable explanation. It's what we tell ourselves when someone brushes off our praise. Oh, they're just modest, or they don't see how great they really are. Wrong. Here's the real controversial truth. Some of them are hiding resentment, distrust, or even silent superiority. They don't just avoid praise, they resist it. And every compliment feels like a threat to something deeper within them. Think about it. When you compliment someone and they immediately reject it, not with humble gratitude, but with sharp deflection or even irritation, what's really happening? Are they truly just shy, or is there something more complex, more guarded, more intentional going on beneath the surface? You might not want to hear this, but sometimes the person rejecting your compliment is doing it on purpose. They know exactly what they're doing. Today, we'll unpack the layers most people ignore. We'll go beyond the easy answers and explore the uncomfortable truths that psychology reveals about human behavior and self-perception. This is ThinkWise. We don't do comfortable lies here. Childhood matters more than you think. In fact, it might matter more than anything else when it comes to how we receive praise as adults. If someone grew up with overcritical parents or constant comparisons to siblings, neighbors, or classmates, compliments might feel like traps. Imagine being a child who only heard "good job" when it came with conditions. Good job, but your sister did it better. Good job, but why can't you do that all the time? Good job, but don't let it go to your head. Here's the hard part. They didn't just become shy. They learned to reject kindness to survive emotionally. Every good job felt like a test they couldn't pass, a setup for inevitable disappointment, a prelude to criticism. When praise became unpredictable or conditional, their young minds created a defense mechanism. Reject the praise before it can be weaponized. Don't trust the kindness because kindness has always come with a price tag. This conditioning runs deep. It's not a conscious choice they make every day. It's a programmed response, wired into their neural pathways through years of experience. And that programming, it shapes the way they see the world forever, including how they perceive genuine kindness from others who have no hidden agenda. But here's the twist. Not everyone who rejects compliments had a traumatic childhood. Some just learned it works for them. More on that in a moment. Let's get into the brain and understand what's actually happening when someone rejects a compliment. Cognitive dissonance. This is when a compliment directly challenges how they see themselves. If someone has built an identity around being not good enough or average, a genuine compliment creates psychological tension. Their internal narrative says, "I'm not talented," but your words say, "You're excellent." The brain doesn't like this conflict. So what does it do? It rejects the external information to maintain internal consistency. It's easier to dismiss your compliment than to rebuild their entire self-concept. Simple, cold, efficient.
Self-sabotage and imposter syndrome. Some feel deeply undeserving of praise, like someone will eventually catch them pretending to be competent. They live in constant fear of being exposed as a fraud. When you compliment them, that fear intensifies. They think, if only you knew the real me, you wouldn't be saying this. So they deflect, they minimize, they redirect attention away from themselves before you discover the truth they believe about their inadequacy. But wait, here comes the part most psychologists won't say out loud. Control and power dynamics. A rare few reject praise to protect themselves emotionally, or even to keep others at a distance. By refusing compliments, they maintain control of the narrative. They decide their worth, not you. This can be a protective strategy for people who've been manipulated through praise in the past. But sometimes it's also a subtle power move, a way of saying, your opinion doesn't affect me. I'm untouchable. I'm above needing your validation. ThinkWise doesn't sugarcoat this. Some people reject compliments because it makes them feel superior to you. Distrust of intentions. For some, every compliment feels like manipulation. They've learned that praise often comes with strings attached. People who compliment you want something. People who build you up are positioning you for a fall. This cynical worldview makes genuine kindness feel dangerous. So, next time someone refuses your praise, remember, it's not always about insecurity. Sometimes it's deeper. They don't trust anyone enough to accept love or validation, and that's a painful way to navigate relationships. This behavior isn't harmless. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. It creates real consequences in relationships, professional settings, and social dynamics. When someone consistently rejects compliments, it can make relationships tense and confusing. Partners feel rejected. Friends feel dismissed. Colleagues feel awkward and unsure how to interact authentically. Imagine trying to build intimacy with someone who won't accept a single kind word. You tell them they're attractive, they argue. You praise their accomplishments, they minimize. You express appreciation, they deflect. Over time, you might stop trying. And that's exactly what happens. By rejecting praise, they inadvertently push people away without even realizing it. Or do they? Here's the uncomfortable truth ThinkWise wants you to consider. Rejecting compliments is sometimes a subtle power move, a way to stay untouchable, unreachable, perpetually separate from genuine connection. It creates an emotional distance that protects them but isolates them simultaneously. And many people will never see it coming. They'll just feel the coldness, the barrier, the sense that no matter what they say, it's never quite right. Relationships built on this dynamic rarely thrive because one person is constantly giving while the other is constantly refusing to receive. You might be in one of these relationships right now and you didn't even know what you were looking at. Let's get real. Hating compliments is rarely about one single thing. It's a complex mix of fear, pride, and self-protection all tangled up together. It's not always humility. Sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes it's a fierce pride that refuses to be defined by others' opinions, even positive ones. Sometimes it's a warning sign, an internal struggle that no one else can fix because the person hasn't yet acknowledged it themselves. Imagine someone rejecting even the simplest praise, not because they're modest, but because the world feels fundamentally unsafe to them. Every kind word feels like a potential trap. Every compliment sounds like the beginning of a manipulation. Every expression of appreciation seems to come with invisible conditions they'll eventually fail to meet. That's the silent battle they fight every day. A battle between the human need for connection and validation and the deep-seated fear that accepting either will lead to pain. But here's where ThinkWise goes deeper than other psychology channels. Understanding this doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior. It means recognizing that the person rejecting your compliment might be fighting demons you cannot see, carrying wounds you didn't inflict, and protecting themselves from dangers that exist primarily in their perception of reality, shaped by their past. Or they might just be manipulating you. The hard truth? Sometimes you can't tell the difference.
Here's the surprising advice. Don't push compliments. Seriously, stop trying to force someone to accept praise they're not ready to receive. You might think you're being kind. You might think persistence shows you care. You're wrong. Instead, respect their space. Observe, understand, read the signs. Learn to recognize when someone's discomfort with compliments is a boundary they need you to respect, rather than a challenge for you to overcome. Sometimes the best way to connect isn't to compliment at all. It's to give them room. Let them feel safe without forcing praise. Show your appreciation through actions rather than words. Be consistent and reliable. Demonstrate your respect without requiring them to verbally accept it. If you're in a close relationship with someone like this, gentle curiosity can help. Not, why won't you just accept a compliment? But rather, I notice praise seems to make you uncomfortable. I want to show you I value you in a way that feels good to you. What works better? And recognize that some people genuinely don't want verbal affirmation. They might prefer acts of service, quality time, or simply being seen and understood without commentary. Meeting them where they are often is more powerful than trying to reshape them into someone who can easily receive compliments. This is ThinkWise strategy. Adapt to reality. Don't fight it. Psychology isn't about judging. It's about seeing truths others ignore. It's about looking beneath surface behaviors to understand the mind and heart. Think wise. Next time someone rejects your praise, ask, is it them or are you failing to understand? Not every smile hides happiness. Not every rejection hides arrogance. Sometimes it's survival. They're navigating a world where kindness is conditional. Praise is dangerous and vulnerability is costly. True wisdom isn't forcing understanding. It's meeting people where they are, respecting boundaries, and protecting yourself. Understanding without discernment, that's not wisdom. That's naive.